We're asking, were Italy's tactics against England in the Rugby Six Nations innovative or unsporting? Let us know your thoughts. Hashtag Six Nations, hashtag Six Nations 2017. So were they innovative or were they unsporting? And we're going to get a bit more reaction to this from the rugby commentator, Cameron Petrie. Cameron, welcome to Sportuccino. Great to have you on the show this morning.
Hi.
So, Cameron, let's start with that poll that we're talking about. What did you make of Italy's tactics against England? Did you think they were innovative or unsporting?
It's probably the most bizarre first half of rugby I've ever watched. I would say I would say innovative because Italy have gone into that game losing 33-7 at home to Wales, 69-10 at home to Ireland, getting absolutely battered by the first two sides, and everyone's talking, should they stay in the Six Nations? With Georgia on the rise, who are technically in Europe. So yeah, I completely understand. Italy go into the game, England away, England are the only unbeaten side. And they thought, we'll do a tactic which will make us very, very hard to beat, and we'll stop this chat of, should Italy even be in Six Nations? And they technically did nothing wrong. I think Eddie Jones and everyone else in the media saying, "Oh, that wasn't a game of rugby." It was in the rules. England could have done it if they wanted to. I think it was very innovative. I think it was very, unsporting. I find that quite remarkable, really, that people are saying that because Italy were backs against the wall going into that game. And it was a great opportunity to disrupt England, which it did. They went in at half-time 10-5 up. But the same story for Italy. The second half, they always seemed to collapse because Wales, the Wales game, they went in 7-5 down or 9-5 down, and everyone's thinking, oh, here we go, close game. And in the second half, they run out of steam and always concede the majority of their points in the second half. But it was still a great performance from them, and the scoreline does not tell a story because if you're an England fan, that was a very uncomfortable match.
So with people like Eddie Jones and George Ford coming out saying it was unsporting, World Rugby need to do something about it so it doesn't happen again, is this just Eddie Jones in England trying to paper the cracks and hide what was a pretty poor performance by England?
Yes, but the poor performance came. I don't think England were at 100%. Definitely not. I think they're probably at 70, 60%. But the tactic Italy did made England have to think on their feet. Which I think England have done actually under Eddie Jones for 17 wins in a row now. But they seemed that it took them around 33 minutes to kind of understand what was going on. And the weird thing is, the Chiefs did this in Super Rugby for the New Zealand franchise team 2 years ago, and everyone sort of was like, right, if they're not going to commit any men to the breakdown, then we'll just pick it up and run through the middle. And I don't know how it took England, one of the second best side in the world Rugby rankings, 33 minutes to sort of get their heads around to then do, which was I found quite amazing that this sort of very simple tactic sort of just bewildered England. And you see James Haskell. I'm a big fan of James Haskell. I am as a guy and as a player, but he's covering it up now. I've seen his interviews in the press, but he did not understand what was going on at all. he was asking the referee, what am I meant to do with the ruck thing? He was saying thing. He didn't have a clue what was going on, and the whole England team didn't really. Even I think some of the selections were a bit weird. Like Johnny May starting after I think Noah had a really good game last match, and Teo at 13. If you can start Teo, he's now inside centre. So playing him 13 to so you can fit Farrell and Ford in. But I don't think actually had a great game against Wales. Just to fit those two guys in. So some of the selections a bit dodgy. Bringing Danny Care off I found very odd as well. First half he was poor, but that's because England's ruck and breakdown area, which Danny Care has to manage, just completely folded because they couldn't deal with what Italy presented to them.
Okay, well, great to get your thoughts on all of that. Let's move on to Scotland versus Wales. What happened in this game? Was this a good performance by Scotland, or was this a disappointing performance by Wales?
If you're a Wales fan, you're going to be very disappointed because they probably went into the Six Nations, fans and the team did thinking, they got a chance of winning this. They got England at home. They've got Ireland at home, who are the two biggest threats, in the Six Nations. But Scotland this year are a very hard team to play, and Ireland were very surprised they lost to Scotland in the first game. I think they went in there a bit relaxed. I think a similar thing happened to Wales. Wales went in half time 39 ahead. And I thought they were in reasonable control of the game because Wales have got a very physical, intense pack. And I think if you saw the performance against England. I mean, my favourite to Wales going into that game, and I think rightfully so after the first half. I mean, Leah Williams has been playing outstanding, and then the second half, I mean, Scotland just turned it up. I mean, Finn Russell was outstanding. His distribution and just the whole tempo of the game. It seems Scotland in the second half brought the tempo to like a level which Wales could just not deal with. I saw that, and Tim Visser was causing George North all sorts of problems on the left wing. And it's a Scottish side. Well, Greg Laidlaw, their captain and sort of stalwart captain, injured. After the France match, and you've also got Strauss, number 8, who was out. And there's no complaints from Scotland side. They just stepped up. And Ryan Wilson was fantastic. And Hardy, one of the best flankers in the tournament so far. He had to come off injured. He's now out of the tournament as well. And Hamish Watson came off the bench, 25th minute in, and he just outplayed Sam Warburton and Justin Tipperick and Moriarty in the back row. He was an absolute nightmare for Wales. And second half, I think it was 20-0 for Scotland. So I mean, I think that tells you quite a lot about the second half. Wales just didn't really make an impact on the game, and every asset Scotland were better, really. I mean, set piece, line out scrum, and they're just moving the ball faster. Wales can deal with it. I don't think Wales were that bad. I think Scotland were very, very good. I mean, if you're a Wales fan, you can be very disappointed. 3 games in, and your only win is over Italy, which, no offence to Italy, that is the game which everyone thinks they're going to win, especially this year. For me, you've got 5 teams out of 6 who are very strong teams, and I could have won the championship at the beginning. So disappointing for Wales, but I mean, Scotland are in great form, and it's going to be a very tough match for England in 2 weeks.
How much is this the problem with Wales is because they don't have Warren Gatland and it's Rob Howley in charge?
I think that's, for me, it's rubbish because, I mean, Howley's been working under Gatland now since 2008. If he's been the deputy to Gatland for 9 years, and also in 2013 when they probably had the best win for years, beat England 30 points to 3. I mean, you can go to a whole load of matters on why that happened, but Endo Howley was the head coach for that. He won them 6 Nations, so he should feel comfortable stepping in. And I don't think he's done that bad a job, really. If you look at it, they were 1 poor kick away from beating England. And then they go into this game with a different mindset. Even though I think they went into the Scotland game, they actually had a good mindset, and they were deserved winners at half time. I thought the physicality, Scotland really couldn't deal with it the first half, but then Scotland started moving the ball around, making it a more mobile match, and then Wales started to struggle then, because it seems Wales are quite rigid in the way they play. It's sort of crash ball, straight hard running. I mean, they are trying to get a bit more creative, but I mean, Scotland looks so much more comfortable with Finn Russell at 10 compared to Biggar at 10, who stands a bit more deep. Finn Russell takes it to the line. He's just far more dangerous to play against. So I think the Howley Gatland thing is obviously Gatland's a better head coach, but Wales have played perfectly well without Gatland in the past, and I think they've played perfectly well with Howley. So I think they could use that to cover the cracks. Or when Gatland comes back after the Lions, it'll be fine. But I think the problems are more than that. It's Alwyn Jones. Everyone goes on about him being a great captain, which I think he is. But there was a call in the game where they should have gone for 3 points to extend the lead. It's a test match. It's not a game of rugby you're playing in the park. And Dan Biggar also just goes to Alwyn Jones, because he's a teammate of the Ospreys. I'm going to go for the corner and try and go for the try. And Alwyn Jones didn't even want that to happen. You always listen to the captain. It's sort of just kind of talked over him, or kind of walked over him, and it's not right. It doesn't send the right message to the rest of the team, and also it is the wrong decision in the game. And Alwyn Jones, who wants to be the Lions captain, he's going to have to put his foot down with decisions like that. So I mean, the whole Wales thing is very. I mean, I don't think they've done that bad, but I mean, they're obviously it's sort of a goldfish bowl with Wales. I mean, I was brought up there, and I understand how passionate the fans are. So to look to be, with 1 win out of 3 in your first 3 games, they're not going to be happy.
Yeah, not good at all there. But it seems like Ireland are getting back on track. They got a 19-9 victory over France. Of course, they lost to Scotland in their opening game. What did you make of Ireland's performance, Cameron?
I mean, I thought France came out really, really well, and they made it uncomfortable for Ireland. I mean, France got extremely physical back. I mean, guys like Louis Picard-Wells and Garrard. I think Garrard is probably the best hooker in Europe, and Neil Picard-Wells is one of the best 8s in the world. I mean, they really gave it to Ireland. But I mean, fair play to Ireland. I mean, tactically, they're on the money. I mean, Conor Murray obviously scored the try, which was a good try. Murray and Sex. I mean, when they're on top form like that, they're unplayable. It's a very wet, damp, physical affair. Obviously, half time was a bit shaky, 7-6 up. But I don't think in the second half, France never looked like winning the match. It seemed like France were more there to sort of hurt Ireland and beat them up than actually win the match. It sort of played into Ireland's hands. And I thought Ireland were fantastic. I mean, Henshaw and Ringrose controlled the game well. The back three, and Carney gets lots of criticism because everyone wants to see Zebo at fullback now. I think Rob Carney's had a pretty decent tournament so far. So people calling for his head, I think, are being a bit harsh. And also the back row of CJ Stander, who is fantastic now. He's on that plane to New Zealand in the summer. Then he also got the Tullow tank, Sean O'Brien, who carried fantastic. And he's up as well. He's raised his game after his last season's been good, but before that, his last couple of seasons, 3 years ago, he was slowly declining. So Ireland are in a really good place, and they got a really good kind of 1-2-3 combination in the front row with McGrath, Best, and Tag Furlong, who seems to be the find of the season. Because I mean, you asked everyone around a year ago who's your Lions tight head, it'd be Dan Cole, and then Tag Furlong. Yeah, the Leinster man's just come through and he's playing fantastic. I mean, France, I thought played well, and I'm really happy to see France back competing because since 2012 they've lied down in games like that. They probably would have lost that by, even though it was actually Ireland's biggest win against France, I think, for since 1975. France didn't lie down and they kept fighting till the end. And France, the last 4 or 5 years, have just seemed to kind of crack and just let the game slip away, and they haven't really been bothered. But it seems to have gone over. They've got a bit more identity, a bit more. They know what they're doing. And it's not an easy game. So England found it very hard against France, and France injured around a third of the Scottish team and beating them. So really competitive Six Nations this year. I mean, Ireland looking really good, and you can just see what's going to happen now. With that last game, Ireland England in the Aviva Stadium, that could be a potential Grand Slam decider for England. And then obviously Six Nations decider as well, especially with these bonus points. Ireland are on England's tail, even though England have won every match, Ireland haven't.
If you're going to predict a winner for the whole Six Nations, who's it going to be, Cameron?
Oh, with the way it's going, I think Ireland have got more momentum, and I think England could potentially trip up over Scotland. So I'm going to say Ireland. I don't think England have played well in any match so far, really, for 80 minutes. But they've somehow got 3 wins. So there we go.
We'll have to wait and see what happens there. Cameron, it's been so good to have you on the show. Just before you go, give us a reminder where we can find you on social media, please.
Oh, yeah, Twitter, Cameron Petrie RU. And then same with Facebook and same with Instagram. Give me a follow. I'll follow you back. Tweet me. There'll be links to my articles, interviews, and all that sort of stuff on there with Newcastle Falcons and rugby all around the UK, really. So, yeah, give me a follow and I'll follow you back and read some of my articles and stuff and share them.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for being on today's show, Cameron Petrie, rugby commentator.